Morning, welcome back. Tuesday here at See You in the AM. Again, we're going to pick things right from where we left off yesterday, diving right back into clarity and wrapping up the third C today, and then allowing us tomorrow to get into the fourth C, which is tied very closely to this C of clarity, which is conversational. So again, one of the more important aspects of clarity is that people pay attention to you when you are clearly thought out and clearly spoken. I'm sure in any one of your lives, you can recognize a time, whether in school, whether in the business world, or just encountering someone that was clearly thought out by the way they spoke, and you were much more likely to put credibility into their words. You were enthusiastic about hearing what came out of their mouth next. So that's a feeling you want to impart on a prospect, again, having them hinging on every word that comes out of our mouth. The other aspect I want to talk about with clarity is the concept of what it really means in application. To me, it is leading a prospect down a paved road towards a predetermined ending. Now, in order to do so, we need to understand it a little better. And I use analogies for a lot of things, and I'll use another one here. It's just like a chess player. If you ever witnessed it, a professional chess player, someone really good at the game, they've thought every move through. They have practiced and gone over every scenario in their head so many times that it's becoming second nature to them, and they can anticipate the next moves. And that is exactly why I liken it to a chess player, because that's what a closer does effectively. We know what the prospect's going to say next before they ever say it. We know the answers to questions before they ever say them. So again, this gives us the ability to focus on what we are doing to respond to that, as opposed to just being focused on how to respond. What I mean by that, it takes practice. We have to go through scenario after scenario before ever being involved with the prospect face-to-face or on the phone, because without that, we cannot be prepared. You go through this idea with athletics. Any sport out there deals in basics. Most of them deal with some kind of a footwork that's associated with the sport. Footwork is practiced from day one of Pee Wee League or whatever little league you're in, all the way through the pro ranks. Why? Because those fundamentals, you want to ingrain it in your head to make it second nature. Without that, then we're constantly focused on the wrong thing versus on what we should be focused on, which is being the best we could be. We're still focused on the basics. So we have to ingrain those things into our head and practice the repetition of it. And again, once we're familiar with something and we've been there before, we are going to be much more effective in the delivery, and in our case, of the words, the tone, the body language. When we're familiar with things, it's much easier. Similar to if you're driving a car and you go on the same route every single day. Many of us take the same route to work every single day, or whatever it is that we're doing. And when you're on a route that's familiar to you, it's something you take day in and day out, I'm not suggesting anyone should distract themselves from the road, but it's much easier to send a text. It's much easier to play on the radio or anything of that nature, because you're much more familiar with the road. You're confident in where it is you need to make a turn, where it is you need to make a stop, and what you need to really be paying attention to. But if you're on a road that you've never traveled before, most of us, including myself, we pay attention to every detail. We don't want to miss the turn. We've got to follow the GPS. So too here. The more familiar you are with that drive, or for us, with that prospect and where that conversation is going, the more ability we have to meet their needs by projecting confidence, like we've talked about before, by being consistent in how we approach those calls and in how we answer questions, how we respond to objections. So it all ties directly together. Now, clarity, as I said yesterday, is one of the more challenging things because of what I just said. It needs the work. It's not something we just make a decision to sound confident and it happens. Here, we have to put in the work and over time, and many people get impatient with those things. They want results now. I assure you, keep putting in the work, you will get the results when it comes to clarity. Now, we'll end some things with a quick quote. That was a great quote from Jim Rohn that says, if you just communicate, you can get by. But if you skillfully communicate, you can work miracles. Not suggesting anyone here is going to work any miracles, but I will tell you, you keep on a path like this and you start working on your communication skills, you will see significant results. Have an excellent day, a successful day, and I'll see you in the AM.